Agents, let me tell you about a time where I dropped the ball in a big way. 7 or 8 years ago, I went to Compass Retreat in Washington, D.C. It was my first retreat. I had just brought our team over to Compass. What is going on here? And I went to Compass Retreat to network. I wanted to meet people. I wanted to let people know and tell people that we were in the Jupiter/Palm Beach area. I was the first agent with Compass north of Miami, and I wanted everyone to know that we were there. Anyway, I make the rounds, I do the things, I have the conversations, I pour into myself as an agent, I do right by the trip, by the expense of going to Washington, D.C. I meet all kinds of people. I meet someone named Mark, we hit it off, we have a great conversation. I talked to him for maybe 20 minutes, 30 minutes, and we exchanged information, and then I never followed up with him. Fast forward 7 or 8 years later, last week I get a phone call from some guy named Mark, and he goes, hey, I have a referral opportunity in Palm Beach Gardens, Florida. I Googled the best real estate teams, came up with your name. Would you like this referral? And his name was already saved in my phone. And so I was like, Mark, that looks awfully familiar. Mark from Queens? Are you from Queens, New York? It all came back to me, flashback, it all came back to him. Here's the takeaway with this. I dropped the ball. I never followed up with him. I never added him to my database. I had him saved in my phone, but I never added him to my database. I never added him to my CRM. I did not do right. 7 or 8 years ago, I didn't do right by the time that I invested in that Compass Retreat, and I dropped the ball. Now, here's the thing. If he hadn't Googled me and hadn't found me, that referral would have gone to someone else. And the entire point of me going to Compass Retreat or any kind of event, Inman, Tom Ferry, any of those events, the entire point is to learn and to make connections and ideally to get relationships so that you can win referrals. Mark, years later, ended up having a referral, and years later did not think of me despite us having a conversation. He found me by happenstance, and I happened to recoup that cost because he happened to Google me and happened to find me. Anyway, do as I say, not as I did. If you're attending a networking event this year, have a system, have a process in place. The thing that I always do that I love doing, if you can afford it, bring an assistant. I always bring my chief of staff to events. She's not here with me at Inman right now, but if you can afford it, bring an assistant to have them lockstep with you, adding your contacts, adding in the CRM, creating your follow-up, because what ends up happening, if you're anything like me, which most of you are, as real estate agents, we get talking, we get excited, and then we end up dropping the ball on the back end of doing right by those relationships. You want to have organic relationships. You want to build rapport. You want to have authentic connections. Of course, the name of the game is authentic connections, but if you don't stay in touch, don't leave it up to Google to try to recoup those relationships. Cool.